Hey guys, Brian here. Are you guys considering buying one of these Chinese excavators and you're wondering, what do people like about these excavators? What are some of the positive benefits of getting a Chinese mini excavator? Well, in this video, I'm going to give you guys 7 pros or positive things that I like about my Chinese excavator. Now, I did a separate video listing out the cons of the things I don't like about it, so I'll put a link to that video. And I originally, when I bought this thing, did a detailed review. So if you don't know anything about this machine, I'll put a link to that video so you know all the different aspects of this machine. This is a 2023 Kymron YH14 Chinese mini excavator. It has a gas-powered Briggs and Stratton motor. And this is not a sponsored video. This is me just telling you the things that I've liked after owning this for 1.5 years and putting 50 hours of use on it. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the projects I've done, and then we'll get into the pros of this mini excavator. So besides the pros of it, I'm sure some of you guys are like, what things can you do with a mini excavator like this? Well, I've used it to help plant trees. I've used it to move logs. I've used it to cut firewood. That's been super helpful. Pick up the log with my nice thumb and cut and buck up wood. Been very helpful. I've used it to move rocks. I've used it to clear out some space on our hilly property here and build an area where we're going to be able to camp and have a kids play set. I've used it to expand our seasonal pond. I've used it for a number of different things. And overall, it's been very useful. So in no particular order, let's start with the first thing I like about this excavator. It is the size. There's 2 things that people don't talk about in regards to these mini excavators, and that's how to store them or where they store them and how people transport them. I transport this on my 5.5 by 10 foot utility trailer that I bought for my UTV. It's got a ramp on there. This 2,200 pound excavator drives up it just perfect. It doesn't bend my ramp. The excavator fits on there perfectly. I got a little bit of room to spare. I am pretty much maxing out that trailer, so that's about the only downside, but I didn't have to buy a special hauling trailer for this excavator, and that trailer, you can find those 5.5 by 10 foot trailers everywhere. As far as storing, we used to put this in our 20-foot shipping container, but we upgraded to a larger 40-foot high cube shipping container so we could put our UTV and mini excavator in there. I'm not 100% sure on what the height is. I know in our house, which was built in 1971, it does not fit in our garage. It's maybe just a couple inches high. You know, newer houses these days usually have larger garages. I'm sure you could get it in your garage. But the size of this thing is great for hauling and storing. And then obviously, it's great for while you're working in tighter spaces. I do a lot of work back in our trees. It's nice to be able to move around the trees, and it's not so big that I'm going to be getting it caught up in areas. Now, the second thing I really like about this mini excavator is the fact that it is actually really powerful. Now, I'm up here at 10,000 feet in elevation, so I have probably a pretty significant loss of power due to the lack of oxygen. And I think this thing is plenty powerful. Besides that, I also have super rocky soil. And that was one of my main concerns because I see a lot of guys online digging with these, but they have nice, dirt. I have some rock mixed with dirt here. That's what my soil consists of. And this excavator is strong enough and powerful enough to dig up rocks. And yeah, I mean, I've uncovered and dug up rocks probably 300 or 400 pounds. And this thing is strong enough. Now, I do usually have to operate it at a 1/2 to 3/4 throttle while I'm up here. If you're down in Oklahoma, like K&R Equipment, maybe you can idle it or have it be a 1/4 throttle and operate it just fine. But up here at 10,000 feet, I can't do that. But like I said, there's plenty of power here, and I've been very impressed with that. And the third thing that I really like about this, which kind of goes in with the second thing I talked about, is the Briggs and Stratton motor, the thing that powers this excavator. A lot of things I like about the fact that it's a Briggs and Stratton. One, parts availability. You go to Briggs and Stratton's website, you can order any part. which is super awesome. Parts are very readily accessible. You can get them on eBay, Amazon, probably even your local big box hardware store. They may even have some Briggs and Stratton parts, and it is a powerful engine. But the fact that it is Briggs and Stratton and it's a gas engine, those are some things I really like. That was one of the main reasons I bought this excavator, is the fact that it is a gas-powered machine, because I've worked on my power washer before, weed whacker, lawnmower, wood chipper. I usually do all my own small engine repair and maintenance. And so I felt confident with this having a Briggs and Stratton engine that I would be able to do that, and I definitely have been able to. So the fourth thing that I really like about my Chinese excavator is the ROPS. Now this is more so for the YH14 model, and this is one of the reasons I bought this model, but this is a true rollover protection system. When I move this, the entire excavator moves. You see a lot of the other mini excavators out there that they have canopies, and you go like this and the canopy just moves back and forth and the whole machine doesn't move. This thing has already saved me once so far. I had a log out and I went just outside of my tracks, operator error, I know, but thankfully I had started tipping and I fell into a tree. So it scratched up a little bit of my ROPS, but it did not dent the ROPS, and the ROPS saved me. And it was just, this really is one thing, especially with my hilly terrain, one reason I got this, and I'm very thankful that I did get it. The fifth thing I really like about my excavator is that overall it's built really well. At least the major components are. We already talked about the ROPS, but the boom and the arm, the bucket, the thumb, everything is just really heavy duty. And I have very rocky terrain here. You can see behind me. And I have dug into super rocky soil. None of my teeth have broken. The bucket hasn't gotten bent. My thumb hasn't gotten messed up. And the tracks have been good. I mean, overall, it's honestly built very well. There's been some small little dumb stuff that's broken on here, but the main components of this machine are built very good. The blade is another really good example. I use it to grade out our driveway and our trail to the backside of our property, and I hit rocks every now and again. There's no chips out of it, nothing. I mean, it still looks really good. The sixth thing I really like about this excavator, and Chinese mini excavators in general, is the fact that the attachments are so cheap. I just bought a 6-inch auger for this machine on eBay for $400 with free shipping. If you had a Bobcat mini excavator or Kubota, I don't have anything wrong with either of those brands, but an auger like that is probably going to run you a couple $1,000s. And what's nice about these is this is a Kymron. You don't have to buy the attachments from Kymron if you don't want to. In some instances, their attachments are the same price. In others, you can just go on eBay, buy the exact same thing, and save you some money, which is exactly what I did with the auger. So the seventh and final thing that I really like about my Chinese mini excavator is the fact that it really is a good value for your money. I bought the YH model, which is kind of the, higher end version of the Chinese mini excavator with an 8-inch bucket and a ripper for about $11,000, which is affordable. If you're looking at getting a Bobcat or Kubota, brand new excavator, same size, I mean, they're what, probably $35,000? Maybe you can pick up a used one for $20K, something like that, but this is almost half of that, brand new. And we pay cash for stuff. We're Dave Ramsey followers, and that's why we've gotten to where we are in our life, is because we pay cash for stuff. We save up, pay cash, and we can actually afford this and buy this. And when you have a piece of property like we do, you really do need like an excavator or a skid steer or a tractor, something like that to help you out on your property, because there's just some things you can't physically do by yourself or even with, you know, a couple people. And a machine like this really helps out. So I think given how much you spend for what you're able to do with this machine, I think overall it is a really good value. So overall, I really like this machine. It has been so helpful on our property. It's helped us do a lot of jobs that we otherwise wouldn't be able to do with just hand tools. Now, some of you guys may be like, well, you could just rent something versus buy something. Yes, you absolutely could, for sure. The reason why I think it's such a huge benefit to have one of these and own it versus renting it is because if you're like me, you're coming up to your property on the weekends, you're going to use this thing for 2 hours here, 2 hours there, an hour here, an hour there. You're going to use it for little things here and there. Just because I have 50 hours on it, that doesn't mean that I spent 50 consecutive hours working on it. No, it's just been an hour here, 2 hours there, and you just use it, you know, here and there on your property. And that's what makes this such a good buy, is the fact that it is cheap. It can help you out tremendously on your property. And yeah, it's just a great little machine. So overall, would I recommend buying a Chinese mini excavator? Yes. Overall, would I recommend this model? Well, you'll have to watch my cons video to find out, because I have that answer in there. So I'll put a link to that video. But if you guys enjoyed this one, give her a thumbs up. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.